Salutations and welcome. Today we are in Vergil's first Ecloga reading, lines, whatever that is, through 30. Here is everything we're looking for as we go through the text. But first, last time in Vergil's Eclogues. And now that you're up to speed, let's get started. Libertas, quae sera, tamen respixit inertem, candidior postcom tondenti barba cedebat, respexit tamen, et longo post tempore venet, postcom nos amarilis habet, Galatea reliquit. You'll understand that in a bit. Probably a few weeks from now, actually. So, we have his response. What was the cause for you to see Rome? Libertas. That long AS right there. This is a third declension type of noun. Libertas, libertatis. That is singular, nominative, and feminine. Surely Americans can sympathize with this. Liberty. Quae sera. So no verb there. So we move on. Tamen respexit inertem. Now tamen tells us we got a different clause in here. So that has to be referring to something else, but itself is a relative clause. So is this the main clause? Is that the main clause? What's going on? So quae, at the very least, we can identify to a degree. Could be nominative singular feminine, could be nominative plural feminine or neuter, or accusative plural neuter. Is that right? Yeah. Qui, quae, quae. Quorum, quorum, quorum. Yep. So Sarah is going to be matching quae, so whatever that is, Sarah is also. And Sarah limits it even further to exactly the same thing. So no change, actually. So we're going to go ahead and handle this. Tamen, however, but respexit, sorry, it, so that's going to be a third person singular. Respicio, respicere, respexi, so we have our perfect stem, active and indicative. Something looked back at an inertem. EM right there, so accusative, singular, and this is masculine. An inertem, from which we get the word inertia, means unskillful, lazy, sluggard, or slothful. However, whatever this is, maybe liberty, looked back at a sluggard, an unskillful one, a lazy one. Let's go with a sluggard, because sluggard is not used enough. However, we might even say it regarded. Maybe with a positive light. All right, candidior, postcom tondenti. So we've got a verb stem right there. So present participle, but nope. Barba cedebat. Here we go. BAT. So that's third singular imperfect. Active and indicative. So something was ceasing, began to cease, used to cease. So we want to find a singular subject. Well, immediately before cedebat, we find barba. That A right there. And barba is a feminine noun of the first declension. So it could be nominative or ablative singular. Looking through the rest of it, though, there's not much use, again, for an ablative. I'm saying again from the previous video. It's been weeks for you, sorry. Nominative singular feminine. So the beard was falling, began to fall, used to fall. Well, what type of beard? Condidior. IOUR can only be nominative and singular, and in this case feminine because barba is feminine. And the other addition that we need to make is that it is a comparative degree adjective. So the whiter beard was falling, began to fall. And then that means that we can go back to quae sera. Quae sera could refer to libertas, or it could refer to the beard. So we'll need to figure out which in context makes more sense. Quae sera could be the subject of respixit, or it could actually be a part of this. Tamen would tend to indicate that quae sera is separate, or that it is just the subclause to this, and this is its own thing here. It's hard to tell, but these at the very least are singular and feminine. And probably nominative. Sera could be an ablative acting as an adverb. However, the adverb of sera is sero, so that doesn't make much sense. Okay, so still don't know what's going on with that. Postcon, that just means after. So we handle tondenti with the I right there. So ens, entes, and t. We've got a dative singular. And with no gender, it's going to be either masculine or neuter based on the meaning and then the context. And tondenti means shaving, clipping, or shearing. So what might be going on is that we have this as a substantive standing in for like a barber. Dative singular, masculine, present, active, participle. After the whiter beard was falling, I'm going to say probably began to fall. And then to the shaving one, to the barber. Barber. Hoping that's right. Okay, now just quae sera. Liberty. However, it looked back at a sluggard, which lately, after the whiter beard began to fall to the barber. In English, that didn't really clear up anything. Liberty, which lately, however, looked back at a sluggard. That one I like. But then that depends on how tamen is used. I don't think tamen is a post-positive, but it's not the sort of word that appears in the middle of its clause. It's going to appear at the beginning or at the end. Kind of like however does in English, usually. So I want to put quae sera with libertas, but it could also go with this. However, it, probably being liberty, looked back at a sluggard. But quae would need to be nominative. Yeah. So I'm going to go with my first instinct and put quae sera with libertas rather than with barba. Could be wrong there. Which, of late. Lately, of late, is not an adverb. Unless it is actually ablative. That's unclear. And the commentary, I don't think was any help here. Which, of late, however, looked, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, well, that's about all I can do for it. Moving on, tamen again. However, it regarded it and longo post tempore when it, it right there. This could be third singular present or perfect, active and indicative. Prior to this, we have perfect tense and imperfect tense. So perfect tense here makes more sense. However, looking after this, habet, that's going to be a present tense, third singular present, active and indicative. Relinquo, relinquere, reliqui. Oh, no in. Relinquo. If the in is in there, as I remember for the first two principal parts, this one would be perfect. Third singular perfect active indicative. So if that is correct, then this is the only one present there. So what about this prepositional phrase? Post takes the accusative. Ante meridium. Post meridium. My brain is telling me post takes the accusative. But tempore is clearly ablative. As is longo. This is a conundrum. So I'm going to go with what the text says. Plus ablative, singular, neuter, tempus temporis, and after a long time, it comes, or it came. Postquam, after, nos, accusative, accusative plural, Amaryllis with is right there. This gives us, I believe, her nominative singular form, so she's the subject. After the pretty one, Hobbit, habeo, habere, has us, is having us. I think the implication would be married. Though as a slave, he would not be allowed to have a wife. Instead, it would be, what's the term? I wrote it down. Where did it go? There we go. Contour. I'll write it down for you. Nope. Is that right? Contour. That's. I can't even read my own handwriting. Contuber. No, this. So kind of a common law marriage. So long as Tityrus is a slave, which we'll find out more about next time we come around. So I'm going to think that she had him in a marriage of some sort, probably common law, based on what we know now. After Amaryllis has us married, plural for the singular for some reason, Galatea reliquid, with an a nominative singular feminine as well. And in a lot of pastoral writing like this, sort of like shepherding writing, I should say, not pastoral, because pastoral has a different meaning these days. A lot of writing about shepherds and things like that. The name Galatia is actually used for a sea nymph, but not in this case. So, I think nos would be implied again, which is not spelled that way in English. Yeah, left us. So, why this with that? Well, two options for Galatia. Galatia, she could be Tityrus's first wife, and then Amaryllis replaces her. Or Galatia could be his master's wife, the one who's in charge of him. So she left him. That second one, well, possible, I don't think makes much sense in context. So I'm going to assume first wife, question mark. And then that just leads us to return to when it. However, it regarded, again, sluggard or us. And after a long time, it comes after Amaryllis married us, Galatia left us. So I think here liberty is going to be implied. And after Amaryllis marries us, it comes. Or it came. I don't know. Well, there we have this not entirely figured out piece of paper. I hope taking a look at it has been helpful for you, and I hope that you have a very good life. Farewell.
What? You're still awake? Why are you still here then? You should be reading a book. Or if not reading, you should watch one of these other videos. Please like subscribe, leave a comment. See you next week.